Hello, welcome back. I realized I had a lot more to say about meditation than I said in my video on breath meditation. And so I'm going to put together a little series here on different types of meditation. Now, there are a lot of claims about meditation that, one of them that I hear quite often is meditation lowers blood pressure. Well, that's true for one or two types, but it isn't necessarily true for all. And in fact, that's not even the goal of many of them. Some of them aren't even supposed to make you relax. They are of various types with various effects, and that's by design. There are a lot of different practices designed to evoke various emotional states, to help you visualize certain things. These practices are widespread or wide ranging, and they have different purposes that were developed for various spiritual purposes, psychological purposes, and to help you get in touch with different emotions, different feelings. So it's kind of incorrect to make blanket statements about meditation. And whenever somebody says something like that, the first thing you should say is, which type of meditation are you talking about? And just to give an example, we have mindfulness meditation. It's very popular in stress reduction, like teachings, right? There's mindfulness-based stress reduction. There's a lot of people teaching mindfulness for relaxation, and there's meditation apps that talk about mindfulness all the time. And if you look back at the origins of mindfulness, mindfulness starts perhaps its earliest is in the Buddhist teachings on anapanasati. And no, that is not a salad mixed up that you get at the Italian restaurant. That's antipasto salad. Anapanasati. Anapana is in and out breath. Sati, and I guess that's probably the Pali term. The Sanskrit term is probably smrti. I'm totally butchering these words because I don't speak those languages, but that's okay. Um, it's more like remembering. You want to remember. And what are you remembering? Well, if you do anapanasati, that's remembering the in and out breath. And why are you remembering? Well, if you sit and you practice this, you're going to be breathing in and out. And if you've practiced it at all, you know that as you are sitting watching the breathing and in and out breath, that your mind's going to wander off, probably to your shopping list, or to that argument you're having with someone on Facebook, or to a discussion you're about to have when you go to work and you have to deal with this annoying person who always thinks they're right. Any of these things, your mind will drift while you're watching the in and out breath. Why does it do that? Because it's boring. Breathing is boring, and that's chosen as that practice on purpose. Why? Because when you're doing this really boring thing and you've got nowhere to go because you're on the cushion and you're just breathing, you see your mind wander, and you won't notice it maybe for you may not even notice it for the entire session. You'll sit your butt down and you'll start to breathe, and then all of a sudden the bell rings and you realize that you were in an imaginary conversation the entire time. And guess what? That's okay. Yes, a lot of people think I failed at meditating because I was spaced out or I was drifted off, I was having imaginary conversations, whatever. You didn't fail. You did it exactly right. Because at some point, even if it was when the bell rang, you noticed, you remembered that you were intending to watch the breath. And it's funny because I call this the deceptively simple practice. Why? Because even though it's boring and it's simple and it seems like nothing's happening, that's not true at all. Because if you're paying attention, you see at some point, and the more you do it, the more you catch it earlier. You see when your mind drifts off, and bringing it back to the present moment is a pretty useful skill. Why? Because I've experienced many times on the cushion, you're sitting and you're breathing, and your mind wanders off, and sometimes it's trivial stuff, sometimes it's not. Sometimes there's like a really powerful emotional thing that's going on in your mind that when you catch it, you can come back, and I often will look in my body. Do I have tension somewhere? And when you notice that, you can release that tension. And you can also recognize that sometimes you'll find the tension first, especially when you're out and about doing your daily stuff at work or something. You notice that tension. Having that conversation with that annoying person, right? You feel that tension. And when you do, you recognize, oh, wow, when I feel that tension, I also have these kind of thoughts in my head. You can release the tension in your body and your thoughts calm down a little bit. Now, this also makes you very effective at, eventually, probably makes you effective, right? It's not going to be overnight. That if I can calm myself in the middle of these difficult conversations or these stressful circumstances, it doesn't matter where you're at. Somebody cut you off on the freeway. That's one of my triggers. I don't know about you, but that is definitely one of mine. Catch that sensation. You notice, oh, my mind is about to spin off on this storyline. What a jerk, or they're full of crap, or whatever. Relax. Give that tension permission to go. You can't just force yourself to relax. It doesn't work. It makes you more tense. But when you give yourself that permission, I feel that tension. Okay, I'm going to let it go. Then you've taken a second to let yourself calm down, and you're more effective at dealing with whatever's in front of you. And the more you do it, the more you recognize these connections between your mind and your body. And a lot of times, I wouldn't say it's not of value to try to figure out the mental part. Sometimes all you need to do is work with the physical. Let it go. Let it go. And the more you practice that, the more stable, the less triggered you may be throughout your day. And that's a pretty valuable thing. And so it's the deceptively simple practice. Why? Because it is boring and simple, but if you pay attention and do it, you get a lot of value out of it. So that's just mindfulness. What are some of the other things? Well, there's mantra practices, and those can take a lot of different types. There are different mantras for different reasons, and some of them are just totally meaningless. In that case, some of those practices are designed to calm you and relax you. Transcendental meditation, great example. It's a mantra practice, and it's basically there to kick in the relaxation response. There's also visualizations. Visualizations can take any number of forms, some of which are related to maybe visualizing healing processes, or maybe you're visualizing some elaborate deity like in the Tibetan tradition. And what is that all about? It's about identifying with the qualities of that deity. I'm not a Tibetan Buddhist practitioner, so I don't know all the applications, but I know some of them are about identifying with those qualities. And what do the deities represent? They represent aspects of our psyche, right, of our mental composition. So these visualizations help you to feel those qualities, identify with those qualities, and embody those qualities. And at that point, you're stepping into the realm of self-hypnosis, really, because a lot of hypnosis is a totally different subject I'll get into at some point, because it's very fascinating. But it's the same kind of thing. You work to identify these qualities that you want to embrace, and then the hypnotic session is all about getting your subconscious to accept those and integrate them into your values, your whole system, your vision for who you want to be. And a lot of visualization practices are all about that. And some of them go beyond that into visualizing healing processes and other sorts of things, but it's all kind of interrelated at that point. Mantra meditations, you get into, there's the TM type. There are also ones that are related to, one of my favorite things, which is kind of fun, is like chakras. Now, chakras may or may not exist. I don't even care if they do, because that's not the point. If chakras, again, come back to certain elements of your psyche. You have the root chakra, which embodies safety, security, And so you start there, you build this basis, meditating on that. And then as you work your way up, there are others that are related to confidence, self expression, creativity. You get up to the heart, opening to your experience, to the people around you, to the world. You get up into your throat chakra, your expression of yourself, speaking your truth, so to speak. And then into others, even your crown chakra, your whole body, your whole being expressing. And so they're a fun way to explore your psychology, your mind, from a symbolic representation rather than just trying to read a book and understand something. You're feeling it in your being. And so what I'm going to do in this next series, I'm going to do a chakra series because they're fun, and I think it's a worthwhile practice to spend a little time meditating on an aspect of your personality or of your emotional makeup. So we're going to start with the root chakra and work our way all the way up to the crown chakra, and I'll give tips and hints for how to meditate on these and ways to work with your practice to keep it from being frustrating, and what meditation is and is not. We've talked about it a bit in this video. It's not, don't fight it. Don't try to empty your mind. You don't want to make it blank. In many cases, you're actually trying to do something, and you learn to work with what's going on in your mind, what's going on in your body, and feeling these different qualities of your psychology, like security, openness, speaking out, and they're kind of fun. So we'll do some visualizations at some point too. There's like a whole series I want to do on that. I have too many videos and not enough time that I want to make, but that's life. So I'll see you in the next video. We're going to start with the root chakra and work with that mantra, and we'll work our way through those, and then we'll do some more with mindfulness, and we'll get into some visualizations along the way. And at some point, I will make time to finish my yoga series because I'm almost done. I got a couple more things I want to do. There's a few more postures there, and then I'm going to do a standing sequence, and then we'll integrate that into a whole body routine. I'll try and fit them all in here over the next few weeks. So I will see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.